everyone, and welcome. I'm Connie Douglas from Great Stamping with Connie. It is Wednesday afternoon at 4 o'clock, at least where I am. Oh, and look, there's Felix. He also wants to say hello to everyone. Welcome to Craft Spot. If you are here, say hello. Don't mind the cat. Silly boy. I have just returned to the cottage. It's been a busy day, travel day, always a busy day. And they haven't seen me since Sunday, not that long, but a few days. So they're a little bit hanging around underfoot, loving me and sort of getting in the way. But anyway, he's not in the crafting area right now. Although he is stretching onto my paper and giving us just, lovely views of his derriere. Okay, so if you are here, do say hello. Let me know that you are watching and joining me today. And I will start by mentioning once again that it was in fact travel day, and it has been very busy. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just my life is sorry. Volume. Okay, that's gone. Lee, hello. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh boy. We're in for an adventure today. We are going to wander down a creative path, and you will see into the inner workings of my brain. Okay, not really, but I will show you what I do when I need to come up with something to do on my Facebook Craft Spot in a hurry. And when it's been a busy travel day and most of my stuff is still packed and in curtains around. But we've got what we need, I think, or darn close anyway. So let's get at it, shall we? I have a new phone, so I hope it works. It seems to be okay. It seems to be there. It seems to be doing so far the things that it needs to be doing. Oops, let's not get the light into the camera. Okay, trying to get the cottage light situation. Okay, so what I thought we would do is just kind of have a play. Since there's so many wonderful things in this new mini catalog that we have, and I have not had a chance to play with a whole lot of them. I've used some of the things quite a bit, and some of the things not at all. And I haven't, of course, ordered everything that I'd like to order yet. But it's early. It's early. There's lots of time, right? And not necessarily lots of time. Some things are unavailable right now. They will be back though. Some of them have already come back, and some will be back very, very soon, early October, I believe. So if there is something that you're interested in and you go in line and it says not currently available, you can reach out to me and I will let you know when the expected return is for that item, or just watch, go in periodically and check, because stuff is coming in on a very regular basis right now. But do feel free to reach out to me and I can give you a date, or I can also watch for you as well and let you know, if I know that you are looking for one of the designer series papers or something, and I see that it is current, come back and is available again, I can let you know. Anyway, the Old Holy Night suite, I thought we would have a little play with today, and I know there's a lot of glare on there, sorry. But there are some beautiful card samples here, some beautiful things in this suite. There's actually 2 bundles. I have just 1 bundle so far. The stars, last time I checked, were unavailable, but they will be back. And these are lovely. I was at a creative convention 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago. And some of the cards in the shoebox swap used these, and they are lovely. I do have the ribbon. I do have this specialty paper. I do have the designer series paper. So I've got lots of things to play with. And then there's just the further breakdown of it. So when you are in a hurry to put together a Facebook Live and you don't know exactly what you want to do, what I recommend is that your case one of the beautiful cards in the catalog. And I was looking at this one, oops, but then I got off on a tangent, and so that'll have to wait for another day. I flipped to the back, and so this is it's quite different. It doesn't use the designer series paper at all. It does use the specialty paper. You probably can't see that well. It's not terrific. Anyway, I will show you this paper in just a moment. But this is the card that we're going to make, or a reasonable facsimile, because when you case a card, you're using the idea. You're taking the things that you like, you're leaving the things that you don't care for, you're replacing things that you may not have. This is quite specific to this one bundle, and it's the bundle that I'm using. So I do have all these bits and pieces. But if you didn't, if it used a couple of different things and you didn't have some of it, you just substitute in what you do have. And that's another way of making it your own. So before we get started with that, I was just going to give you a quick glimpse at the designer series paper, because it's lovely, especially for some Christmas gift crafting. So I have seen this page used for the backdrop for a shadow box. So framed art, and they added pieces from the dies to make the a scene here. It was stunning. There's some more stuff that you could use for framed art, or you could cut it, and then you've got ground and rocks and terrain and all those sorts of things. We have 3 pieces that are sort of nighttime, so just shades of blue with some stars, and then sort of the Milky Way, perhaps, or stars and night sky, and then another one that can be used for scenery. And depending whether you're using it on a card, you could use this piece just for a nighttime backdrop, or you could use the whole thing for 12 by 12. The back of the paper is more muted, so this is just a very vanilla piece. So just, sort of single color or tones of color. Some stars, they could also be snowflakes, depending on what you put with it. So there is the paper. That's just the package of the designer series paper. And as I said, the card I ended up deciding that we would case today doesn't even use any of that. So, but it does use some of this. This is the specialty paper. These are going to have some glare, probably, because they are foil, gold foil on Night of Navy. And these are all just single-sided pages. But some beautiful patterns here. There's one sheet of each pattern in the package, which is good because you get lots of variety, but it's bad because you get lots of variety. So when you don't know what to use, yeah, you have lots of choices. This is now very vanilla for the backdrop. Similar, same pattern. So there's the leaves, there's this sort of filigree, and here's the stars. And this is the piece that we are going to use for our card. So I will leave that one out. I have cut a standard card base out of thick, very vanilla. So that's just 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then, okay, we're going to cut this. So I'll fold this, and in this card, the designer series paper covers the entire front. So the total is 4 1/4 by 5.5. We don't need that much of each piece because we're going to cut it But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then I will have, I'll cut it on the angle. I'll cut the two of them together on the angle so that they match perfectly. And then could do I'm going to do it. I'll figure something out to do with the other pieces. So 4 1/4. The problem with 4 1/4, of course, is that you don't get 3 out of the card. But this is going to be a special card, so we're going to do it. 5 1/2. Okay. There we go. So there is our designer series paper, and well, the special paper, and that will make the top of the card. And then the paper on the bottom, I hold it up here. Oh, it's tough to see. It's mossy meadow. I can see that it's mossy meadow, and it has just a subtle little pattern. I'm not certain what it is. And there used to be recipes that demonstrators could access to find out what all the ingredients were in any particular card sample that was in the catalog. And I'm sure we still have it, but when they switched over to the new website, I haven't used it since we switched over, and I looked for it and I can't find it. So anyway, we're going to fake it and we'll just use whatever we wish. So I think it might be this, which is from the online exclusives, One Horse Open Sleigh. It's this little guy, and I don't know whether I want to sacrifice him because he looks really cute in those aspen tree die cuts. If you were in my Christmas in July class, you know that we made one of him. And then there's this piece out of the All About Autumn package, and it's mossy meadow, but it's also got the gold accents, and I'm not certain it's not just too much. It's a lot of shine. So I'm not sure that's the best choice. This would work, but I was thinking as well that we could just use a piece of mossy meadow cardstock. And I think for now, since we're kind of winging it all here, we'll go with this. This is not wide enough. That's only 4 inches, so I need a full sheet. So we're going to just use mossy meadow cardstock for the bottom. So there you go. We have just cased this card. Case, by the way, means copy and selectively edit. It could mean copy and share everything. So if I created this card, I would, I can put my card out there. So I've copied, and then I'm going to share everything that I make, just so other people can be inspired by it. Or some people say it means copy and selectively edit. So we are selectively editing the bottom part of this to suit what we have and what we want to use. So now I want to cut this on an angle just for some interest. And it doesn't matter where, but here it looks like the bottom is a little bit less than half. So half is what, 2 3/4. Do it. If I flip this over and I put this at 2 1/2. Oh, but I don't want it straight, do I? It's getting way too technical. I want it to go this way, and I don't want too big of a go. You can just drop it in there. It doesn't really matter. But I've put this point at the 2 1/2 mark. I'm not sure what that's going to give me. It doesn't really matter. I just want a little bit more. So you just kind of see how much you want to come up the side and down the bottom. But this is going to be, that's okay. I think I'm just going to do it about there. Now, because we are going in on an angle, our blade could kind of bump up against here and damage our paper. So I always suggest that you just drop your blade down somewhere in the middle. I have both of my pieces here, one stacked right on top of the other, and I'm holding them quite firmly. And I'm just going to run my cutter up and down. And you may need to do it a couple of times just because you have two pieces of paper in there, but it will cut through both of them. So there we go. Now we have those two pieces. I perhaps should have done it a little bit more in half just so I could do another card, but I didn't. So it's going to be like this. But this can be another card as well. Do something with that, however you choose. We're not going to do that right now. So I'm going to set that to the side. And then I think I could put this onto here right now. So when you are doing a full card front, I personally tend to use liquid glue. Just, oh dear. I took this bottle because the other one felt a little bit empty, and this one feels a little bit empty as well. See, I have it up there, so we won't run out. And if I have to wait a long time, I'll just move on to the next one. So, as I say, I use the liquid glue just so I have a moment to kind of wiggle this into place and just make sure everything is where I have it covered the whole front. Put the bottom piece on. We'll be ready for the next step. This one should just go right up against that and fit right in. Looks like I have just a smidge of card base sticking out the bottom. That's a little trimmer trim. We can do that. Okay. I did get my little trimmer out. If you have a guillotine cutter, you need to do a very thin cut. I find them to be the best because they will take just the smallest little shade off. Nice and straight. Fixes that. And now we don't have any very yellow showing at the bottom anymore. Okay, so that is that. Next, we could do, well, I will show you because I have already done the sentiment piece. So this sentiment is from the stamp set in the bundle. Stamp set's called Night Divine, and it is all sentiments. The stars are brightly shining, O holy night. Glory to God in the highest. The Lord is my shepherd, joy and peace. He shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. And that is the one that they used. And so that is the one that I used. And it was done with white embossing powder. So I did do that in advance. I did it on pecan pie. I'm not positive what color they used, but I used pecan pie and I used the white embossing powder. So I did that because it would be very noisy on camera. So anyway, I did two of them. Oh, look, now I have one for the other card, perhaps. Okay, and then we need to cut out some of our people from our scenes. So there's a couple of shepherds and things. So there's oh, they don't actually have, there is a camel here. I cut out some of these in pecan pie. So there's the camel. He's not actually in there, but there is a cow and there is a little sitting down cow and there is a sheep. And then I do believe they have taken, this piece is, I can see it better. It's backwards, but we'll use it for die cutting a little bit. They die cut this and then cut some of the pieces off to make their seams. So we can do that too. So there. Okay, so we have our little mini cut and emboss machine here. This is where I get to wiggle and jiggle you a little bit, and I thought I grabbed the very vanilla, but I see that I have thick vanilla sitting here. So I think I need to grab some regular vanilla. Could use thick, but no, I must have it out. Okay. I was almost organized. Let's just see everything. Oh, here it is. Hiding under the designer series paper. Okay, and look, there's even a nice small strip here. So, okay, so I am going to put my people on here. I'm actually going to do them this way just so they feed in a little bit better than it's always best to feed your dies in on an angle if you can, as opposed to this almost straight edge. It's just can be a little bit easier to feed, so that puts a little less duress on your dies. So always a good idea to do it that way if you can. Let's put this on here. Run this through. Okay, here comes the wiggle. I apologize. Okay. So we have, and you can cut multiples of these. I'm not sure how many. I would probably need a couple of that little guy, that little sheepy guy. And there's my cow. So just get this one out. I can cut some of these people apart. We'll figure out what we use. But I think I will just run some of these animals through again. This little guy didn't pop out, so I'm just going to grab my take your pick tool, and there are little holes here that you can just give him a little poke, and he'll come right out a little bit. Doesn't have a whole lot of definition, but whoops, we'll cut another one of him anyway. Cut another sheep and another larger cow. Not that large, but I guess I could have run my steam piece through again as well. Have it ready for the next card, but it's okay. I'm not sure what I'll do on other cards. And I'm probably not going to do it while we're here today. That will be, whoops, for later crafting. Okay, I'm gonna move this out of the way. Some of these dies out of the way. Pick up my cow that fell on the floor. Get these guys out. Get done with these. Get them out of the way. That guy. That guy. Not sure what all we will use, but we have them here ready anyway. The other thing that I cut that comes with these dies is there is a stable, and there are some clouds. We didn't use those, but here's the stable. I was thinking I might use it, but it's not in this card that I'm casing, so I won't use it for this one. I can use it for something else. There's the camel that I mentioned. Just so you can have a look-see at him as well. He can go in the stable on the next card. And then we just need to decide how we're going to put this all together. So, oops, come on, Mr. Cow. Let's just see. So I think I I'm going to cut, whoops, there's a little piece in there to come out. And a little piece in there. There we go. Get my paper snips, and I'm going to cut this just right at the bottom here. I'm just going to cut that so it doesn't look too stark either way. Oh, that does though. We'll just kind of round this just a bit. No. And over here, maybe we'll just leave this sheet attached here. Kind of cut it a little bit round. Now I do have a Mary and Joseph here. I don't know that I'm going to use them on this card. But I could save them to go with my camel, couldn't I? Okay, and then put in, we've got one of these, a couple of these, and one of these. Okay, so what they did in this card as well is they added some shading. So I thought I would do that as well. If I had a piece of scrap paper, it would be ideal. Okay, I apologize. I only have a dirty piece of scrap paper, but we'll use this. And then I'm going to get out my pecan pie, which is buried in all sorts of things. And I'm going to pull out a blending brush. You could use a dauber, a sponge dauber, or you could use a blending brush. I'm just going to put a little bit of ink on here. And I'm just going to kind of give him a little bit of shading. And you can make these as dark as you want, just a little bit of color to make them a little different so everything is not just very vanilla. It doesn't look like a lot, but when you put it beside the vanilla, you can, ooh, maybe you can't see. I'll make them a little bit darker. It is different. Alrighty, those guys here. And then we just need to decide how we want to layer this all up. I think that I'm going to put my sentiment on with dimensionals. Bit higher. And you love dimensionals? I love dimensionals. They add that extra bit of texture that just makes your cards pop even more. I mean, using specialty paper with the gold makes them pop. And I also find that heat embossing, just that, sharp white look, or if you use silver or gold or something, that can be as well. I'm just going to put this onto my front with my dimensionals, and then I'll just fit these guys in around it. And I think I will just use liquid glue again to put these Now I didn't put any glue on that shepherd's staff. It's very, very thin. Didn't want to make a big mess, but it will be fine. It will just sit apart. And let's see, we'll put sky there. Well, I guess they had, looks like they had 3 sheep in the picture. I only cut 2. So we're just gonna have to go with 2 because that's all I have. And it'll be fine. Okay. So it's not exactly like the catalog, but it's similar. We'll bring this back and give you another peek. You may need to hold this up. Don't hold this up closer to the camera. So you can see they do have 3 of the little sheep there, and I had only cut 2. So, but that's all. That's my case, right? But there's my card. So if you're feeling a little bit stumped creatively, you don't know what to do, you're looking for some ideas, the catalog is filled with beautiful cards and lots of creative ideas. And as I say, you can use the cards in the catalog and make them almost identical as we did. Ours is very, very close. Or you can just use it to inspire you. Perhaps the layout with the paper cut on the diagonal is something that you see and go, oh, I really like that. I want to do something with that. But then the rest of your card is completely different. Entirely up to you. It's just it's a way to spark your creativity and get things going. So let me come back in here. There we go. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. The adventure didn't go down too many wild and crazy paths. And thank you for putting up with my sort of chaos as I got organized here this afternoon on travel day. Like I said, always a busy time, but we pulled it off, and I think the card turned out nicely. Catalog card looked great, so it how can my card? It can't be all that bad. I was copying what was in the catalog, but anyway. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you like the card. I hope you give it a try. And if not this card, find something else in the catalog that you like and maybe give it a try. It's a great way to spark your creativity and inspire you for your own crafting. So have an awesome rest of the day, everybody. And I hope to craft with you again really soon. Take care. Bye for now.